Welcome to Comic Kick, where we give you a weekly kick of comics. I'm Jacob Knight for the Geek Press, and I'm currently broadcasting out of the garage where Gail Simone writes all of her tweets. Is she trolling? Is she serious? Is she insane? Is she a bear? We'll never know, but I love her, so we'll make do. Future State Part 2. Last week we reviewed the first wave of Future State books, most of them being pretty good, some of them being very meh, and a few I wish I could return if my store had a return policy. And we're gonna go over all the different comic books that we got this week. We got Green Lantern, we got Superman, Wonder Woman, we got Robin Eternal, we got Justice League, we got Dark Detective, we got Superwoman. We got a whole legion of books this week, many of them being number ones, and we're just gonna go through each one of these issues and talk about what I like and what I dislike and whether or not you should pick it up. Also, one more note before we go for a recap. This channel is currently looking for at least 50 subscribers. I am currently being paid in exposure, the same thing you die of in the desert, so get us to 50 subscribers so I can get 2 cents a month. And with those 2 cents, I'll rent a better basement. First up is Cora Zorrell, Supergirl. Now, right away, I would say if you're a fan of Supergirl Cora, may it be from just the general iconography of the character, or her depiction in the CW shows or whatever, I would say buy this because it kind of shows an older, more leadership Cora who's currently on the moon with a bunch of people that are away from society, and it's sort of the safe haven, and she's sort of the guardian, or as she prefers herself, as the gardener of the garden of protection. And the art looks wonderful. It's this mixture of like not pastels and not watercolor, but like this solid paint, and it's just the color and what is so well done, and the story doesn't require too much background around the characters to know it, and you can just dive right in. I would say pick this one up. I really enjoyed it. Next is Robin Eternal. Now, fun fact, you guys notice the backdrop behind me. Yeah, we get to 50 subscribers, I'll get a better backdrop. But you see right here, the Robin behind me is Tim Drake from Batman the Animated Series, and that's exactly who this comic is about. Motherfrickin' Tim Drake put some respect on his name. Now, this Tim Drake comic takes place in the same universe that the Batman and Harley Quinn one that we talked about last week, and this one is in dystopia, police state Gotham, and Robin is one of the agents, and he's just trying to take down the man. It's a fun lark for those who know the character. So if you want to grab a Robin book, you can grab it, but some of the references and ideas might not mean as much. But if you're a Tim Drake fan, I would say pick that up. This was enjoyable. Up next is Dark Detective. Last week we talked about the brand new Batman, Tim Fox, who had kind of taken over and was currently operating in Gotham. This Batman is Bruce Wayne, which is our OG original Batman, and kind of describes what got him off notoriety, how he's being messed with by the villains, and takes place in the same kind of time / location that Robin, Harley Quinn, and everything from last week's Gotham dystopia took place. I feel like the writing was really solid and showed the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Batman and kind of explores that. And although it may seem like a different version of the Bruce Wayne we currently know, it's not exactly an unbelievable version of that character. You know, the art looks wonderful. I was a big fan of it. It's kind of this gritty, dirty, but yet colorful piece of work that I really enjoyed. The backup story is about Grifter, which is, I believe, a Wildstorm character, and I found that entertaining, although I personally don't know the character, so maybe it just didn't hit me as hard as fans of that character would. So this one, why not? This last week it was a lot of you can pass this, but this week it's a lot more buy, you know. Next is Justice League, pew pew, finger guns. Now Justice League, this book, I would say is also another buy it. You don't have to know too much about the current Justice League run or their history to enjoy this one, because these are new characters. So you can just jump in and see how the team operates. And although it'll be more if you already know the characters and their histories, a newcomer can just pick up this book and say, oh, this is an interesting team and an interesting situation. Writing and the art and blocking of images and everything was really well put together. And especially A+ Joshua Williamson who wrote this, did a really good job of compacting an introductory story that left enough hanging to know what happens next. And I thought this was a really good outing for him as a Justice League writer, because I've only known him as a Flash writer, so props to him. Next is Teen Titans.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they don't understand.
So Teen Titans is a book that is here. If you're a fan of the animated television show back in 2003, I believe, there was a character called Red X. It was a cartoon-only character, and it's brought forward to this here comic book. So if that's something you want to see in comic form, totally grab it. But for me as a Titans fan, I'm pooped. And what I mean is that I'm pooped. I am tired of the Titans getting over. No, I am tired of these very sad Teen Titans stories. When we jump into that book, Titans Tower / Titans Academy, where apparently in the future they train future younger heroes, is just destroyed. They're operating out of the wreckage. They're searching the area, and it's a whole mystery of what happened to the Titans. And if the idea of Red X and Mystery Titans excites you, then go ahead and grab this book. But just as a Titan fan, I didn't care for it. I could go on, but I'm trying to keep this video relatively shorter than last week's video. And last week's video, the raw footage was 25 minutes, and I cut it down to like 10. So I don't know if you guys want to hear my opinions that badly. So I'm stopping it there. So this next book is Superman and / Wonder Woman, and I thought it was serviceable. There's nothing really that interesting I found about it. If there's anything that I found interesting about it, it's the fact that it kind of delved a little deeper into Wonder Woman, aka Yara Flor's history and her kind of family and her what possible canon history she could have. So seeing that was interesting. The stuff with Jonathan Kent I didn't particularly find engaging, but Yara Flor being there was cool. This is a book where you can pick it up if you want, but if you don't know the characters and if you didn't grab their one-shots from last week, explaining like their origins and where they are, then maybe this book won't just resonate as well. So if you liked both of those, grab this one and you'll probably just enjoy this one too. Next is Green Lantern. Here in the basement, where Gail Simone writes all her tweets, we're gonna have to share a secret together, okay? And you cannot tell anyone. I don't particularly care for the Green Lanterns. Damn, look at how messy my hair is. The Green Lanterns I personally know are Jon Stewart, Simon Baz, and Jessica Cruz. Aside from my personal biases, examining this book as a whole, I think it'll give you a very varied experience. One of a Green Lantern without his ring, fighting on a planet, like, may not have the powers but are upholding the values of a Green Lantern. Another one where it's a similar story where a Green Lantern's fighting without their power but they're encountering Yellow Lanterns. Another one where they're fully charged, fully Lantern, just doing their thing, having a good time, and that. So there's a bit of a variation with the stories, and frankly, I can't tell you if you're a Green Lantern fan, you'll enjoy it. But what I can say is that just from a writing standpoint, I felt that all the different stories in this book moved along at a pretty even pace, and I found pretty consumable, and it was fine. So that's the end of Future State Week 2. I felt like this wave of books was much stronger than the first one. There are more stories in this week that I liked, contrast to first week, where really only 1 or 2 of them I found that I really enjoyed. And as these Future State books keep coming out, we're going to start getting to like the new Batman issue 2 or like Harley Quinn 2. And we're going to start diving into these stories being built. So I think as the number ones kind of lessen, I'm going to, instead of uploading this weekly, I'm going to do maybe a monthly roundup or maybe a bi-weekly roundup of how the books are going and how the story overall is good or bad or just there. So at the end of the day, those are my opinions, and whatever you like or love or hate or tolerate, that's on you. So don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and all those fun things that YouTubers have hammered into your little skull since day one. I'm Jacob Knight with the Geek Press, and don't forget to come back next time for your weekly kick of comics. See ya.